All right, you guys. So I wanted to make this video because the last sessions there was two, and there was no way for me to send all the information effectively to you guys, just because we had two Zoom sessions and they were way too long. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a brief recap of what we talked about. So our student org fair is going to be happening from August the 17th through the 20th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have two models that we're proposing, and based on what special events and risk management recommends, we will go with either one of these models. The first model is that we will have up to 40 student organizations set up along the ASU Mall, and that'll be on both sides of Johnson. Model B is that we will have student organizations set up throughout campus, right? So the idea of this is to have your student organization being placed near your academic or departmental building. So, for example, let's say the Ramgineers signs up for the student org fair. The Ramgineers will be placed near the Hunter Strain College of Engineering. Delta Sigma Pi and ROTC will also be by the Rasman building because those are the buildings where their student populations were concentrated at. Now, regardless of which model we go with, we're going to try to get as many of our organizations near those buildings so that you're getting more of that interaction with the students that are kind of like your target population, right? If we go with Model B, the student organizations that aren't affiliated with any discipline or department are going to be placed along the mall near the UC and the library. So that's just to make sure that there's a centralized area for all of our student orgs as well. Some of the health and safety protocols that we put into place to ensure the safety of our campus community. Of course, as you guys know, based on TTU's regulations, we will be requiring face covers at all times, whether you're indoor or outdoor, and that's just to ensure the safety of our students, our faculty, staff, any of our visitors. If you guys don't have a face cover available, I know that Dr. Clint Haven said that there will be distribution centers along campus where you guys can get one. All you would need is your ASU One card. So just make sure you guys have that available. Because of the situation that we are currently in, we are only allowing 2 student representatives from each student organization to be present at their table. It doesn't have to be the same 2 students, but if you're going to be breaking it down into shifts, there can only be 2 students at a time. So how you guys figure that out on your own, just know that only 2 of you guys will be able to be at the table at all times. To encourage or limit contact, we are encouraging you to limit your interactions with students to no more than 5 minutes. We've done contact tracing training. Most of the student affairs folks have. It's my understanding that that's the case. And the longer our students are interacting with each other, the higher the chances increase for the transmission of disease if it is present on our campus. So to protect you guys, we just want to make sure that we limit those interactions to no more than 5 minutes. With that being said, I know I've mentioned it before, practice your elevator speech. You guys have 20 seconds to gauge someone's interest, so really practice that. Make sure that everyone that is going to be present on your or present at your table knows what it is, know what's the purpose, the mission, the values, etc., and can communicate that effectively in under 20 seconds, and then that conversation can happen with students. Tables, we are hoping that if we have enough tables, we can set up the tables in a T formation, just to promote social distancing, because the tables are 6 feet long. So that would create a 6-foot barrier between you and the prospective member of your organization. So just be aware of that and try to enforce it as much as possible. We're really counting on you guys. As you guys know, we are very limited in how many people are going to be out there for the MSAP staff. So we are really counting on you guys to kind of enforce these things. We will be going out, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in the next slide, but just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're taking care of the students. Let's see, hand sanitation stations will be set up throughout the mall. If we go with model A or B, they will be set up just so that you guys have access to hand sanitizer. If you guys want, we highly encourage you guys to have hand sanitizer at your table, just to make sure that there's extra. I mean, in my opinion, you can never be too careful. But yeah, just to make sure to give you guys and those prospective students, prospective members, the ease of mind that you guys are trying your best to take care of yourself and them. We encourage you guys. Lastly, we encourage you guys to take down the names and contact information of every student that you guys interact with, and that is asking those questions. What is the best way to contact you? And this is just in case. These are to support our contact tracing practices. So this is in the case that let's say I test positive for COVID-19, and I've been interacting with you. There's been potential exposure. There's a way to pinpoint and map people that I've interacted with that day, and we can start making taking the steps necessary to try to minimize the risk of an outbreak, right? That's what we're all trying to do. But yeah, so we really encourage you guys to do this. That is the only way that we can keep track of anything at this point. We are working on some technology, and as that becomes available, we will let you guys know if there is a change to that. But right now, the only thing me and Teresa have is that we are working on a template that you guys can share in a Google Doc, so that we can share that information and we have access to it at all times. So for the student organization fair, student organizations have to check in with us. So with this process, only the student organizations that RSVP'd can participate in the org fair. Everybody that is going to be manning that table has to check in with MSAP staff. When you check in with us, we are going to check your screening, and if you haven't had access to it or aren't familiar with that process, I will walk you through that real quick. But checking in with the MSAP staff is required, and you guys will have to show us your badge. And if you don't know what that badge looks like, you will go into Ramport. When you go into Ramport, there is a little button for a daily wellness screening. So once you select that, you will be given some questions about who you've had contact, or if you've had potential exposure, if you've experienced fever, things like that. We encourage you guys to be completely honest. If you guys have had nasal congestion, please put that in. Even if it's due to allergies, just be 100% transparent, because if you do have any symptoms, you can talk to Shannon on demand, and they will give you the green light to go ahead and retake the screening. And then you guys can take the screening again and then get a badge with the green. I will show you guys what this looks like. This is what your badge is going to look like if it lets me submit. It's not going to. You guys, so once you guys submit that questionnaire, you will get this badge. If you do this on your phone, you can just screenshot it. Excuse my picture, that was from when I started my job at ASU. Anyways, so once you guys get this badge, this is what we're going to be looking for. Again, if you guys show any symptoms, it will ask you, it'll show up as red. It shows the date. So you guys will need this badge to go into your classrooms, to go into the UC. For our guests that are on campus, so let's say that you have a community advisor, so like for our faith-based organizations, those individuals will have to fill out a paper screening, and then they'll receive a badge that way. And again, this is just to ensure the safety of you. And yeah, so that's the screening process. Okay, so if you guys, just to ensure your safety, MSAP staff will be stopping by each table throughout the event, just to make sure the badges are up to date, just because we don't know when you guys are switching shifts. So we just want to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind during that check-in process. The next topic is Rammies. So Rammies is taking place on August the 8th from 12 to 1 p.m. So it's not a dinner. It's going to be taking place at the CJ Davidson. For this event, your face covers will be required again. Indoor, outdoor face covers will be required. The capacity for this event is 66. For this event, we are trying to limit RSVPs to 2 representatives per nominating organization. I know some people asked about the nominees for our promising male and female. We are going to encourage the student organizations to RSVP one of those individuals, or to reserve an RSVP for those individuals, and that's just to ensure that they're present. Now, if the individual has graduated, I know that was a question during the Zoom, you guys can definitely have your organization representative go and accept the award on the behalf of the individual that is not in attendance or has graduated. That is still a possibility. Unfortunately, because we are trying to ensure that face covers are worn during the duration of the event, a formal meal will not be served during the Rammies this year. Instead, SGA will be putting together swag bags, and they'll be giving them out at the conclusion of the event. Now, I know reserving space on campus has been a big question on everyone's kind of radar. And let me see if I can move this down so that you guys can see everything. But as you guys know, space capacities are being revised right now, and we must abide by those new space capacities. Student organizations must follow ASU, local, state, and CDC guidelines. Because of the situation we're in, again, rearranging spaces is not allowed. So when you go into the new building or into the new academic spaces or in the UC, you might see some signs on chairs saying that this seat is reserved to ensure social distancing. Please abide by those. Do not sit in those seats. Do not move them. Again, everything that we're doing is to ensure your safety. Multiple spaces can be reserved. So if your organization is a large organization and you want to do more of the watch party style meeting, you can reserve spaces or more than one space for your meeting. We're just working out those logistics with special events, because we know that advisors can only reserve one space at a time for academic spaces. So stay tuned, okay? We will communicate more updates as they become available. Space confirmations can be expected for your organization. Right now, you can go in and reserve spaces, but they're not being confirmed, and that won't happen until new capacities have been approved by our leadership. So you guys can expect that. The last thing I wanted to talk about really briefly is, I know that some of you guys had questions about how to how to get your events on to ASU's calendar. So really quickly, once you go to the student organization page, on this right-hand side, you will see this little button for RSO events, right? So once you click this event, you can fill out the name of your organization, the details of the event. You can even upload a poster or an image. And once you submit it, we receive the form submission, and we will go into the calendar and put in your event so that it can be seen on ASU's calendar. Again, we really encourage you guys to fill this form out. It's going to be important now more than ever. But whether this event is happening on campus or it's happening virtually, we really want you guys to make sure that you advertise these opportunities of engagement for all of our student body. If you guys follow us on social media at ASU Student Orgs, if you can tag us, we can repost and retweet, things like that. So we really encourage you guys to do that. We're working really hard, and we can't wait to see you guys as soon as we get to campus. I'm sure changes will be happening, but these are the plans we have right now. It's a stay tuned process for all of us. But just know we can't wait to see you guys, and we can't wait to try to make a great year out of the cards and the hands we were dealt this year, right? I will see you guys soon.